Welcome into the latest episode of the Betting the Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, the real underscore G Warner, joined by nobody, no co-host on the soccer broadcast. But if anyone would like to holler in my DMs at the real underscore G Warner, of course. If you are listening to this live, I appreciate you coming in there. Please shout or comment if the audio goes out like it did last time. I'm thinking that StreamYard doesn't like to be minimized. That's what I'm thinking, but I appreciate all of your support last time. Sorry, Joe and Anderson, I want to say. Apologies for Joe's been around for so long. I believe it's Anderson. But anyway, thank you both for pointing that out. I will check in between each of the leagues I do just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I also try not to jiggle the connector or what have you. We're going to go through the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, France's Ligue 1, and the German Bundesliga in this episode. Trying to get that out in everyone's hands sooner rather than later and potentially going out for the TCU college football game tonight here in Dallas locally. We are 3-1, our best bets so far this season. Got plenty of action to catch up on. Apologies on that, but I try to watch all the games, so I'm as informed as possible. We're gonna go through each of the leagues, pick out a favorite bet, and make a 1 minute or so Instagram reel at the real underscore G Warner and YouTube at the real underscore G Warner. So if you want to digest just one play or something like that, instead of all the rest. You can see that on the various social media platforms. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, go do it. We just hit 200, trying to get to 1,000 before ads start. So you got a long time until that occurs. But thanks for coming in. And I think it's probably time now, after we give it a couple seconds, to get into the actual matches. So now I just did minimize StreamYard. It doesn't seem to be muted. It hasn't been a problem before. So hopefully that doesn't come up again, but you never know. So let's go into it right now. We're going to start in the English Premier League because that's where the money is. We'll start with Brentford hosting Manchester United in the opener on Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Brentford quarter goal underdogs. All the juice on Manchester United. Total is 2 3/4. This one juiced all the way to over. I am not a believer in Manchester United. You might have heard that before. I've been making a lot of money betting against them, and I do not plan to stop that, as I think Ruben Amorim is not cut out for this job. I don't think the club is in great position, but I think the manager has a system that does not work. I'll lean to under 2 3/4, but would love to get a 3, and it looks like we will have that as well. Crystal Palace then hosts Liverpool in the onslaught of Saturday matches in the English Premier League Saturday morning here in the United States. Crystal Palace half a goal underdog at home to Liverpool. Total is 2 3/4, just all the way to over. Slightly more juice on Liverpool's side. Can they keep winning at the end? Maybe they will. They do it in Champions League, they do it in the Premier League all the time. With that said, I like Oliver Glasner. I've liked him for a long time, ever since his days at Eintracht Frankfurt and other places in the German Bundesliga. I think Crystal Palace is a great spot for him. I like what they've done, even after losing Eze. Keeping Mark Gahey was huge, even though it's probably just for the rest of this season. I'll lean to the half of a goal underdog, and I'll lean to under 2 3/4 there, though I think I need a 3 if I'm going to play anything. So I'll just have Crystal Palace getting half a goal on my list. Manchester United. Excuse me, I already talked that. Manchester City, the other version, the blue one in Manchester. 2 goal favorites to Burnley. A little bit more juice on Burnley. Totals 3 1/4. Juice more to over. Going to be a return for Kyle Walker back to Manchester City. That'll be interesting. But I think Manchester City are nowhere near as good as their price. We saw that last season. They were an easy fade for almost the entire season. Yes, the entire season. But this is a little bit different with a newly promoted side coming into the Premier League, though they've been in the Premier League before and have been not necessarily a yo-yo club. I thought were more established, all those sort of things. But 2 goals of insurance is a lot, even with Manchester City's propensity to score goals at home. We just haven't seen it in a long time. I'll lean also to under 3 1/4. That certainly goes alongside with betting against Manchester City goals. I need to figure out, though, where I'm going to go on that one. Chelsea then hosts Brighton. Currently, Chelsea half a goal favorite, a little bit more juice. Total is 3, just all the way to under. Slightly more juice on the Chelsea side, as I said. I like Brighton, but I don't know that a half of a goal is enough for me to want to fade Chelsea in Stamford Bridge. Play much better there. They clearly get the rub of the green, or maybe just completely fixed matches. I mean, the joke of a match that was the refereeing decisions against Fulham. I don't even think I was so mad at the first goal being annulled, but then just ignoring a clear handball in the box and then a handball being called in the same phase of play just a few seconds later. But welcome to soccer betting. It's rigged. It's really hard when you have cameras and all these officials and they admit mistakes. It's just it can't happen, but it happens every fucking week. Excuse my French, but. Lean to Brighton, but probably not enough there. And I don't think I want to play unders with Chelsea or with Brighton really at this point in the season. Leeds then hosts Bournemouth. Currently leads a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. Bournemouth are a really strong, great team and are going to have to fight against a Leeds home crowd who are really, really intense and will be building this team and trying to keep them in the Premier League this season. Newly promoted, it's hard to see that happening, and Bournemouth certainly can score some goals, but I think going on the road, it's underdog and under for me. Nottingham Forest then in the next window, they are three-quarter goal favorites to Sunderland. I guess this must be a rivalry of some sort. Almost all the juice on Sunderland, totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. This was half of a goal earlier this week. I'm interested in the Sunderland side. I don't believe in Nottingham Forest. I don't believe in Ange Ball. It clearly has not worked in the Premier League. It somehow worked in the Europa League, but they were so much higher budgeted than everyone else. Then I don't really believe in that either. So underdog and under, as I still don't believe Nottingham Forest can score goals. To the nightcap on Saturday, Tottenham Hotspur 1 goal favorites to Wolves. A little more juice on Wolves. Totals 2 3/4. Juice is split both ways. Wolves did have a cup match this week in the Carabao EFL Cup. They played a pretty strong lineup trying to figure out some sort of momentum or get their season started. That's scary to me than playing only a couple of days later on the road in London against Tottenham, who look really strong and have so much talent across the pitch. This is a big price, but I guess I'll lean to the Wolves getting a full goal of insurance, but that's scary. Lean to under 2 3/4, but I think I need three, so I'll just put the side as my interest in that Saturday night cap. We'll move to Sunday. Aston Villa hosts Fulham. Villa currently quarter goal favorites at home. Fulham with almost all the juice right now away. Totals 2 1/4, 2.25, juice all the way to over. I still don't believe in Aston Villa, nor do I believe in them scoring goals. So Fulham as a quarter of goal underdog, I'm interested in under 2 1/4 like that too. To the nightcap on Sunday, the biggest matchup of the weekend in England, as they always reserve their biggest one for that. Newcastle quarter goal underdogs at home to Arsenal. All the juice on Arsenal right now. Totals 2 1/4, juice pretty heavily to over. Generally, these matches, Newcastle play really well at home, but they're generally high scoring games. They're going to be in a defensive setup against Arsenal, as everyone are, and that's one of the best things that Mikel Arteta does as manager. He certainly can't keep his strikers healthy. We'll see what he does this season. He's got a bunch of them now. But I'm interested in Newcastle, especially the return of Alexander Isak. I think that the total is pretty low, but I lean under there as well. Anyone playing Arsenal pretty much in the Premier League, unless they're completely wide open. I don't expect Newcastle to be. I don't really trust Newcastle's offense as much, but I love them at home, so I'll take that quarter of a goal. And to Monday, Everton, three-quarter goal favorites at home to West Ham United. More juice on Everton, totals 2.5. Juice a little bit more to under. This is a big match for David Moyes. If his guys believe in him, then they will certainly be putting out an effort. I don't like West Ham's chances to score here. I don't like Everton's chances ever to score, even at home. So I'll go under 2.5. West Ham visiting Everton. For my best bet in England, just want to make sure that everything is still connected. We're still being heard. Don't see anyone saying otherwise, so that's a good sign for now. I'm gonna go with my best bet in England. I mean, there's a lot to like. I do like Brentford early in the morning at home to Manchester United. I'm doing that. Brentford, quarter goal underdogs at home to Manchester United. Can't resist. I'm playing against Manchester United as much as I can this entire season. Move now to La Liga in Spain after a midweek match day, or Jornada as it's called, and then coming right back into it. Started with a match Friday as well. But yet Saturday we have Getafe hosting Levante in a battle of hard pronunciations for American folks or English speakers. But Getafe quarter goal favorites at home with all the juice. Total is 2, juice pretty heavily to over there too. Levante have not looked like they're La Liga style just yet or La Liga capable. And they're going to need to defend like crazy. Getafe are not a goal scoring team, though. I think biggest interest for me is under 2 in this matchup. Will not play less than 2, but the juice is currently towards the over, so that's a good sign that I'll stick around. Atletico Madrid then hosts Real Madrid in the Derby de Madrid. Currently, Atleti a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to over. And Atleti, have they just been had? Man, I've been watching a lot of English speakers because they just add words in there for some reason. I thought they've had a really bad start to the season. I don't think I could back them as a quarter goal underdog at home. They've failed in this spot a lot of times against Real Madrid before, unfortunately. And I don't think I want much to do with the under here either because Real Madrid's defense is pretty weak. Atleti's been scoring a lot. They've been kind of changing who they were. It was working really well, I thought, at the holiday season last season, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket when their schedule turned up the volume. So not much I really want to do there, unfortunately, with a really big match in Madrid. Mallorca then hosts Alaves. Currently, Mallorca quarter goal favorites at home with all the juice on Alaves. Total is 2, just all the way to under. That's a number I don't want to lose. I do think Alaves can go be competitive at Mallorca. I'm curious if they stay as a quarter goal underdog. I'll probably wait and see what happens there. But under 2 is something you want to grab because I don't expect goals in that matchup. Villarreal then hosts Athletic Club. Currently, Villarreal half a goal favorites at home with all the juice on Athletic away. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. So Villarreal, I mean, they have built up a squad for Champions League. It took a ridiculously bad beat with an early own goal from the goalkeeper and a big mistake against Tottenham Hotspur. I wonder if he loses his job. But anyway, Athletic Club are, I mean, they got off to a great start, won their first 3 matches and lost at home to, of all teams, Alaves, a minnow from the Basque Country. But I think they're going to be competitive away from home. I think half of a goal is too much to give them, so I'll lean that way and I'll lean under 2.5. That's really not the game Villarreal wants to play. They want to score goals. I just don't think they will against Athletic Club. Next, we'll move to Sunday. Rayo Vallecano quarter goal favorites at home with all the juice. Totals 2.25. Juice is split both ways there. Sevilla have been underdogs pretty much everywhere this whole season, except for their home matches. I don't really believe in them to win matches, especially not at Rayo, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game. So I'll go Sevilla under 2.25 goals. Would be interested more in Sevilla if they get a half, so you could get out of there with a full bet winner if they end up drawing. But a quarter of goal, I think I'll let it go as I do like Rayo. Elche then hosts Celta de Vigo. Currently Elche a pick'em, but almost all the juice on Celta away coming off of their Europa League debut. Totals 2.25, juiced all the way to under. Elche are going to try to possess the ball. I don't think that's going to go very well for them against Celta, but I think scoring goals is going to be hard here. So Elche as a home underdog, I'm interested in them and to the under 2.25 as well. Next we'll move to Barcelona hosting Real Sociedad. Currently Barca 1.75 goal favorites, almost all the juice on Real Sociedad. Total is 3.5, and it's juiced pretty heavily to over right now, as it should be. I don't trust Real Sociedad. They've not been good in these big matchups, and I don't trust them under a new manager to do anything there either. To the nightcap on Sunday, Real Betis hosting Osasuna. Currently, Betis 3/4 goal favorites at home. Almost all the juice on Osasuna away. Total is 2.5, juice slightly more to under. Osasuna are a different club away from home. I don't really trust them much away. I don't really think Real Betis are great either. I think I want a full goal of insurance to play Osasuna. I don't think we'll get that, so I'll probably lean to Osasuna getting 3/4, and I'll lean to under 2.5. Though I think there could be some goals from the Betis side. I just don't really trust them either, so I guess I do lean underdog and under here. Surprise, surprise! Joe Dollar's probably already commenting it on his Peloton right now as he's listening. Moving to Monday, Valencia hosting Real Oviedo. Currently, Valencia 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice. Total is 2.25. Juice is split both ways. Real Oviedo, they're trying to find their way in the La Liga, the Primera División, for the first time in 20 years or so, 25 maybe. This is going to be tough going on the road to Mestalla. They're, I think, a much better team, like everyone is at home, but I think they actually compete there. I don't know how much they're going to do it away, but I do expect them to try to defend. So I'll lean to Valencia Real Oviedo under 2.25 in that matchup on Monday in Spanish La Liga. For my best bet on the Spanish country, I guess, or in the Spanish country, I will go with Athletic Club on the road as half of a goal underdog at Villarreal. We'll move now to Serie A, and I'm going to check to make sure that no one's commenting that I've muted myself. I hope that's not the case. No one live in the comments. Feel free to throw them in there if you're live with me on StreamYard. We'll move next to Saturday with Como hosting Cremonese in the Italian Serie A. Como 1.25 goal favorites. All the juice on Cremonese away. Totals 2.5, juice more to the over. And this is Cremonese coming up as a newly promoted. Como, who have been promoted last season, did really well. Market loved them all year. Same sort of thing happened again. Rinse, wash, repeat. It's a big price, though. Cremonese have been very competitive. I like their start to the season. I'll lean to Cremonese, 1.25 underdogs, and I'll lean to under 2.5 as well. But I think I'm stronger to the underdog there. Juventus then hosts Atalanta. Currently, Juve scoring 1 million goals a match. Their Dortmund match was honestly incredible. Half a goal favorite are Juve. More juice on the home team. Totals 2.5, and it's juiced very heavily to under. Atalanta I want to be against, but as an underdog, it's not really my game, as anyone, especially Joe Dollar, will know. I think from a Juve perspective, they've been scoring so many goals. Atalanta, I'm still wondering who they are this season. I don't know what to do with this one, so I'll skip to the next. Move to Cagliari, hosting Inter Milan. Currently Cagliari 1 goal underdogs, a little bit more juice. Totals 2.75, juice very heavily to under. Inter have been really bad to start based on high expectations to win every match. Cavalry are going to have a tough one cut out for them, but I do think they can compete. I do like the full goal of insurance, and I think they can play a low scoring match here. So I'll lean to that under 2 3/4. Would love to get a three, but it doesn't look like we'll get that. Moving to Sunday, Sassuolo hosting Udinese. Sassuolo quarter goal favorites with more juice on Udine away. Totals 2 1/4, and it's juiced pretty heavily to over. Sassuolo seem really naive to me, so I'll lean to the underdog there of a team that's been established in Serie A for years. Sassuolo have been up and then went down, then came right back up. I guess I'll lean to under 2 1/4 there. I don't know that I trust much of the Sassuolo defense, though. Roma then hosts Verona. Currently, Roma 1 1/4 goal favorites at home. All the juice on Verona away. Total is 2 1/4. Juice very heavily to over, and this is a pretty quick turnaround and a rough stretch of matches for Roma in their Derby della Capitale at home against Lazio, then going on the road in or playing in Europa League, and now here they are. I think we're a favorite in Europa League actually, and now are at home again, but an early start to Verona. I think Verona have been really good so far to start the season, like what I've seen from them. I've backed them a lot over the years. Gasperini hasn't really been the all-out offense that I expect him to be so far. Maybe that comes in this match, but I think Verona's going to do their best to try to keep this as low scoring as possible. So Verona 1 1/4, and I lean to their under 2 1/4 as well. Pisa then hosts Fiorentina at the same match time for Giornata 7, whatever that is in Italian. Pisa quarter goal underdogs at home to Fiorentina. More juice on the Forza Viola side. Total's 2 1/4, and it's juiced very heavily to under. I don't really trust Pisa at this point, but I'll lean to them as a home underdog as I love those type of things and lean to under 2 1/4. Fiorentina have not looked good either. Lecce then hosts Bologna. Currently, Lecce half a goal underdogs at home with all the juice. Total is 2. Juice is split both ways. Lecce did some rotating against Milan in the Coppa Italia midweek on the road. Bologna had their Europa League start to their season on the road as well. So this should be a pretty good matchup, I think, especially with Bologna as a road favorite. I lean to under 2 in this one, but it's not a strong lean, especially with all those ridiculous late penalties in Serie A a couple weekends ago. Milan then hosts Napoli in the nightcap on Sunday, biggest match of the Italian calendar this weekend of this Giornata. And currently Milan are quarter goal favorites, which is a big surprise to me. All the juice on Napoli away from home, but I'll lean that way, and I'll lean to under 2 1/4. Though certainly Napoli matches have not been as low scoring as I thought they'd be coming into the season based on last year. They've added a ton of talent. Figured they would maintain their defense. Has not really happened. Moving to Monday, we have two matches. Parma hosting Torino. Currently, Parma quarter goal favorites with more juice on Torino away. Totals 2 1/4, just slightly more to under. I don't trust Parma to score goals. We haven't seen that for a long time since they changed managers last year. Then they changed again. So lean to Torino getting a quarter of a goal and under 2 1/4. To the last matchup of this weekend in Italian Serie A, we have Genoa, a pick'em, but with all the juice on Lazio away. Totals 2 1/4, juice very heavily to under as well. Genoa just haven't been scoring goals this year, or really since Patrick Vieira took over. Lazio have been good, but not great so far. I'll lean to Genoa as a home underdog, but I need to get a quarter of a goal. We don't have that yet. It's probably available throughout the marketplace, so I'll give the quarter there, but I'll lean to under 2 1/4 as a stronger lean in that matchup. As for my best bet in the Italian Serie A, there's a lot of options here, I got to say. I think probably the most interesting to me is just Napoli as a quarter goal underdog away at Milan. I think they're the best team in the league so far. At least they've seen it, especially considering I've soured a little bit on Inter Milan, but we'll see what happens, and that's going to be a big match day when they come together and play each other. But the losses to the Juventus was certainly really bad, damaging, even worse at home to Udinese. But there's a lot of work that needs to be happening, and I don't think Milan is going to win this match. So easy enough for me to say. Move next to French League 1, which we did miss a Friday match, but we have 3 on Saturday and a bunch on Sunday. We'll start with Lorient hosting Monaco. I also want to make sure that I'm checking everyone. No comments about going muted. That's good. Lorient, 3 quarter goal underdogs at home to Monaco. Total is 3 as I wear a Monaco practice kit. If you're watching live on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, leave a 5-star review, Apple Podcasts. And it's, I think, the number one most popular spot where everyone's been watching. But I really appreciate all the support on there. 5-star reviews are huge for search rankings, and it basically means that I'll do more episodes or be more inspired to maybe doing them earlier. So work on that if you can with me. And same sort of thing goes to Spotify. There's not as much of a audience there, but I'm a Spotify user myself, so maybe I'm a little partial to it, and that's who's helped me upload this. So thank you to them as I try to find a charger without leaving the. Well, too late. Also, YouTube at the real_G Warner if you are a YouTuber, which seems to be a younger audience, which surprised me a little bit. But anyway, so Lorient hosting Monaco. Monaco are a much more talented team. Lorient have been up and down in the top division in France. I don't really trust them. Need a full goal of insurance, I think, at home, and I don't want to play any unders because Lorient have seen some big tallies so far this season. Toulouse then hosts Nantes. Currently, Toulouse three-quarter goal favorites, a little bit more juice. Totals two and a quarter. Juice pretty heavily to over right now. I think to me the Nantes change of manager was surprising to me. I guess they had always meant to do it, or that was their plan, but I've not been impressed by that, I got to say. So at this point, I think I'm probably waiting and seeing on Nantes until I get a better feeling for them, which is sad because they were certainly a team I was backing a lot last season. Move next to the nightcap PSG hosting Auxerre, another matchup that's probably a blowout, unfortunately, but that is, I guess, how it goes. And at this point, for me, I think we wait and see how this is going to go. But I think PSG two and a quarter goal favorites right now. All the juice on Alger away. Totals three and a half. Juice all the way to over. I just don't know if I'm really that interested in fading. I got to say at this point, it seems like it's not necessarily worth it. Would be my humble opinion. Alger have been competitive, but no guarantees they'll do that here, even with Champions League coming up next week. To Sunday, we'll start with the early matchup. Nice hosting Paris, the other version, not the Paris Saint-Germain, but the FC Paris. The Paris Football Club. Currently, Nice, half a goal favorites with all the juice. Actually, juice is split both ways. Total is three with all the juice to under. So, Nice coming off Europa League midweek. That's going to be a tough setup for them. I think Paris is the way I'd lean here, and I'd lead to under three, though. I don't know that I just haven't really agreed with all the love for FC Paris so far this season. Angers then hosts Stade Brestois, currently Angers, quarter goal underdogs at home with a little bit more juice. Totals two and a half, juice all the way to under. Stade Brestois have not looked good this year, put it that way. I do like what I've seen um, from Angers, and I think they are very competitive. I like what they've done, so I'll lean to that quarter of a goal and lean to under two and a half in that matchup, as I think Stade Brestois' defense will get better. Lille then hosts Lyon. Currently, Lille quarter goal favorites with more juice on Lyon away, coming off their own Europa League. Totals two and three quarters, juice pretty heavily to under right now. I'll be leaning towards Lille. I'd love to see them at Pick'em, but we don't have that yet. Football Club de Metz then hosts Le Havre. Currently, Metz a pick'em with more juice. Total is two and a half, juice all the way to under. Two teams that are going to be fighting relegation all season. I don't know that I've seen much from Metz, though. I thought they played very well against Paris just a few weeks ago, and unfortunately weren't able to hold on to multiple goals to equalize. I think they even took a lead there too. Probably biggest interest for me is Le Havre playing a low-scoring game away from home, even though they should be the better side. They've been in the league longer, but they're not strong either. So under two and a half, it feels much bigger than the two and a quarter it should be, even with a heavy juice towards under right now. So I'll go Le Havre under two and a half in that matchup. To the nightcap, Stade de Rennes hosts Racing Club de Lens. Currently, Rennes a pick 'em at home with all the juice totals, two and three quarters, juice to split both ways. I mean, Rennes have not really gotten the love they've been getting a few seasons ago. I guess that's what happened when you kill everyone for a while, put all the best talent across Europe, and then get pillaged and then fall quickly back down to earth. Got in a relegation fight, changed managers three times last season. I'll lean to Lens, excuse me, against Lens because they are a great home team that haven't been as good at home lately. Their road splits have improved, but mainly because their home team or home record hasn't been as strong. But Rennes at home, I like them as a pick 'em, and that seems easy enough to me. For my best bet in French League 1, I'm going to go with that Rennes side. I'll take Rennes a pick 'em at home to Lens. And we'll move to the German Bundesliga. Then we'll do ultimate best bets to get out of here. Let me make sure I'm getting on here and make sure we're not muted again. Thank you for those that are here live with me. All right, we'll move to Germany. Football Club Heidenheim. They are hosting Augsburg. Currently, Heidenheim pick 'em with all the juice on Augsburg away. Totals two and three quarters, and the juice is split. Heidenheim have looked pretty bad. They got rescued last season by putting in a bunch of loanees from Bayern Munchen. They don't seem to have them in the roster just yet. Leo Ciancia, I believe, has been sold. So there's a lot of questions on what they're going to do. I don't know. Their defense has never been the strength of them. I'll lean that way because Augsburg are not really the strongest offense either. And as a road favorite, it's probably something I'd like to be against. But at the same time, Augsburg are trying to play with the ball more this season, and I expect Heidenheim to have a lot of trouble. St. Pauli then hosts Bayer Leverkusen. Pauli currently quarter goal underdogs at home with the juice split both ways. Totals two and a half, juice a little bit more to under. Amazing that Bayer Leverkusen got rid of Peter Bosch Excuse me, not Peter Bosch. That was years ago. Rid of Eric Ten Hag after only 2 matches when Manchester United kept him 2 years. But good for them. It resulted in a win with 9 men against Eintracht Frankfurt and a really big matchup at the top of the Bundesliga table. I just don't think Leverkusen are going to be that strong this year. I love what I've seen from St. Pauli so far, and I'm interested in under there too, under 2.5. VfL Wolfsburg then hosts RB Leipzig. Currently, Wolfsburg a pick'em with more juice on Leipzig away. Total is 3. Juice all the way to over. Leipzig aren't playing Europe this year, so we're going to see how good they can be. That they've changed their roster big time. I don't know that I want Wolfsburg right now at Pick'em, but I'll lean that way. If they move to a quarter goal underdog, that's probably where I'll be more interested and lean to under 3. Wolfsburg have been taking leads and literally going into a lockdown, Sam Allardyce park the bus type of style from his West Bromwich Albion days of the past. I don't know if that's the greatest setup if you're trying to win matches, but it's certainly good for under. Move next to Mainz 05 hosting Borussia Dortmund. Currently Mainz quarter goal underdogs at home with all the juice on Dortmund. Total is 3, just all the way to under. I think Mainz are very interesting to me at home. They've certainly not been great to start this year, but have been getting some results. Lean to under 3 with Dortmund, but that's really scary because they can certainly score goals and they don't really look to defend in the Bundesliga. So I'll just lean to Mainz as a quarter goal underdog. To the nightcap, the top spiel on Saturday, we have Borussia Mönchengladbach hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Gladbach, speaking of horrible starts this season, have real trouble scoring goals, especially as they brought in Gio Reyna, the prodigal son who just can't seem to do anything. Gladbach currently quarter goal underdogs at home with a little bit more juice. Totals 3.25, juice all the way to under. I lean to Frankfurt. I think they're better. But at this rate, I like home underdogs. I'll lean to Gladbach as a quarter goal underdog. But and I guess to under 3.25 with Eintracht Frankfurt having Champions League next week. But man, those are two tough things to look toward. But sometimes that's what you need to make some money. Moving to Sunday, Sport Club Freiburg off of their Europa League debut. They host TSG Hoffenheim. Currently Freiburg quarter goal favorites. More juice on Hoffenheim away. Total is 3, just all the way to under. Not really a believer in Christian Ilse, but he's been getting some results, especially away from home for Hoffenheim. Big win at Union Berlin a couple weekends ago that ended my perfect start, 3-0 start on best bets to this season. I'll lean to that quarter goal underdog, and I'll lean to under 3 as well. I just don't really trust, and I have not liked the start for Freiburg this season and think they're going to really struggle balancing Europe and the Bundesliga. SC Köln then hosts VfB Stuttgart. Currently Köln a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice. Total is 3, just all the way to over. Stuttgart, they had a home match with Celta de Vigo in the Europa League midweek. Actually, on Thursday, that's not great. I think that sets up very well. Köln off to a great start in the return to the Bundesliga. Lean to them as a quarter goal underdog. I lean to under 3, but that hasn't felt very strong. So there's a lot of goals in Köln matches so far this season, so I might take that off the list. Though I do like any sort of push opportunity on 3. Last but not least, Union Berlin, half a goal favorites to Hamburg right now with all the juice. Total is 2.75. She's very heavily to under. I don't think we're going to see Union Berlin matches have as many goals as they have had all season. I lean to Hamburg, but I don't want to really mess with them going on the roads. They've looked very ill-equipped for the German Bundesliga, moving up after a long time in the Schweizer second division, the Schweizer Liga. I'll lean under 2.75 in that matchup in the last match in Germany. For my best bet on this episode, I'm going to go on the German portion of the show, and then I'll wrap it up in just a second. I'm going to go St. Pauli, quarter goal underdogs at home to Bayer Leverkusen. So that does it for this episode. Got in, hopefully at a decent hour. Hopefully you can all get to it and see it all before the magic happens on Saturday when everything goes crazy from what feels like, and as soon as I go to bed, or not even, to 2 p.m. here Central Time. But thanks for the support, of course, and check out my Patreon, patreon.com/real_G Warner. If you want all my plays for tonight's Major League Baseball schedule, that's out there, plus the football season that's coming through on both Across the Pond and the American version. NFL had a really good start till really bad last weekend, unfortunately, but we're going to get back on the saddle there, and let's summarize the last portion of this show for the ultimate best bet portion, which I will make into an Instagram reel at @the_Real_G Warner on that platform. The same at @the_Real_G Warner on YouTube, where you can also get these full episodes and learn when they're live if you set your alerts. And appreciate you. 200 subscribers has been huge, and let's get 200 on Patreon as well. From the English Premier League, like Brentford, quarter goal underdogs. In La Liga in Spain, like Athletic Club, a half of a goal underdog. In Serie A in Italy, like Napoli, getting a quarter of a goal. In Ligue 1 in France, I like Rennes, a pick'em. And in German Bundesliga, I like St. Pauli, quarter goal underdogs. But for the ultimate best bet on this episode, 3-1 so far this season. I got a lot of tallying left to do, but 3-1 start, 3-0. Unfortunately, took a loss on Union at home to Hoffenheim. But let's go Brentford, quarter goal underdogs at home to Manchester United. I am not getting off the fade train. I will be on it forever.